Now that we're done with our numbers section, right, we're actually ready to go and jump on a pricing section. Now, before we do that, let's just go to bracket snippets, right? And actually, let's just correct over here this generic section, right? Because you can see that I pretty much made a mistake for some reason. I thought that my next sections are going to have a header within the column, right? Like we had over here in the skills one, right? But actually, our header is all the time sitting right underneath the container, right? So that's my bad, my mistake, and just my apologies, but mistakes happen, right? So the only thing we need to do over here, we need to go with command. We basically need to cut this, right? And we need to place it over here, right? So we're just placing the header right away underneath the container, and then we're gonna have rows, and then we're gonna have a columns, right? And over here, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna maybe let's just change around this one too, right? This is gonna be a, let's say we're gonna write over here right away name, right? So this is gonna be, let's say in next example, this is gonna be a pricing section, right? And over here, we're also going to write the name of section, right? This is all we need to do. So now we can just click save because everything else stays the same. And if we close it out, and over here, if we go to generic section, right? If we press enter, now we have a correct one where we don't need to go back and forth and actually remake it, right? So over here, we're going to say that this is going to be name. Let's say this is going to be a pricing, right? And over here, we're going to say that the ID is also going to be pricing. Pricing over here, the container is going to stay the same. And once we're done with actually changing container, we need to go over here and actually write our prices. Our prices over here like this. And after that, we need to go over here and actually start working on this column, right? Because everything else is what we wanted, right? Maybe here, end of pricing section, right? So now we have created over here this generic section, and we're ready to go and start creating these columns. So first thing we would say that this is going to be a spanning 12 columns when it's on an extra small screen. Then we're going to say that this is going to be a spanning column medium on a, 6 columns on a medium screen, right? Or 3 columns, sorry. This is going to be 3 columns on a medium screen, so 25%. And over here, we're going to say this is going to be spanning 50% on a small screen, right? And we're just going to add a text center. This is going to be a generic Bootstrap class. So we're going to say text center. And we're going to be doing that by using a Bootstrap panels, right? So here we're going to say div, and this is going to have a class. And we're going to say this is going to be panel. And within here, we're going to place a div that's going to be a class of panel, right? Panel heading, or like this, heading, right? And after that, we're going to place a h3, right? Heading 3 with a class of heading title. Panel title. Panel title over here like this. And once we're done with that, we're just going to write this is going to be basic, right? This is going to be the title of our panel. And after that, once we're done with a panel heading, right, we can actually create a panel body, right? So this is where the panel heading ends. So here we write a div, and we would say class, and this is going to be a panel body over here like this. And over here, we're just going to create a div that has a class of title, div class, and we're going to say that this is going to be a title. And this is, again, we're just creating our own class, and we're going to style it. This is just for styling purposes. And within this div, we're going to create a h1, right? That's going to be, let's say, we're going to say this is going to be like $10 or something like that, right? And after that, we're going to create a header underline, right? So what we're going to do is we're actually going to just copy this, whatever we had from the header. So div class or here, and we're going to say this is going to be a header underline, right? So over here, if you close it, you can see that we have the same one, right? So we're pretty much going to be reusing, again, the underline that we created. And once we're done with a title, right, we can actually create over here where it ends. We're going to create a unordered list, right? And we're going to place some list items over here, right? So what we're going to say that this is going to be 10 gigabyte over here storage. And then in between, we're actually going to create a line break, right? So between list items, we're going to create a horizontal line break over here like this. And it's kind of hard to see because right now it's kind of grayish, right? And what we would need to do is we would need to add 3 more items like this, right? So I'm just going to copy this, right? So this is going to be the first one, second one, and the third one, right? We just again need to create more space so we can see where we're working in, right? So we have 3 list items over here, and here we're just going to say that this is going to be a 10 domains, right? 10 domains over here like this. Then we're going to say that this is going to be 10 emails, and then we're going to say that this is going to be a 1 let's say gigabyte, 1 gigabyte over here bandwidth, right? Bandwidth over here like this. And here we're going to probably change it to 10 emails, right? So pretty basic panel, but we're actually not done, right? So if we're working with the panel body, right? So once we're done with a panel body, we actually want to add a panel footer, right? So here within the panel body, we're actually going to add over here, we're going to say div. This is going to have a class, and this is going to be panel, and this is going to be a panel footer, right? And within this panel footer, we're going to create a link. We're going to say href, and this is going to be a hashtag. And since it is Bootstrap, we need to add a class, and we're going to say that this class is going to be a button, and the role is also going to be button, right? Button, something like this. And probably let's write button like this. This is going to be better. And here we're going to say sign up, right? And after that, we can just write that, let's say this is going to be 1 month for free, right? If we sign up. So outside over here, we're just going to create, I don't know, we're just going to write one month free trial, something like this, right? So now we have created our panel, and we'll see where it ends, right? It ends over here. And what we need to do is obviously copy 3 more like this, right? So we can just go over here, right? And sorry, we're copying actually in the wrong place. Over here you see this div, we need these columns also, right? So if you just check where it ends, right? So it ends over here, and we're just going to copy it all the way there. So we're just going to copy this. We're going to create a little bit more space, and we're going to paste it, and we're going to paste it one more time, right? So this is going to be the column. So again, we're going to paste it, and we're going to paste it one more time over here like this. And now if we actually go to a bigger screen, you'll see that right now we're going to have 2 of them. But if we go in a medium screen, there's obviously going to be 4 of them. So now we're done with adding HTML for our panels, and we're ready to go and actually start styling our pricing section.